Thank you very much, Gloria. This is great. So I will start. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Bonjour, bonsoir à toutes et à tous. Buenos dias, buenas tardes, ni men hao. So I'm speaking to you today from the land of the Anishinaabe Algonquin people. I am delighted to join you today at the 7th meeting of the World Federation of Colleges and Polytechnics Sustainable Development Goals Affinity Group. I'm the past chair of the World Federation of Colleges and Polytechnics and still sit on the board, and I have been for 8 years on the board of the Federation. So can you imagine that it has been a year already that we launched the invitation to have a World Federation Colleges and Polytechnics Affinity Group on the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. Yes, 1 year already this week, when we invited the global TVET community to join us in a new affinity group. Honestly, we did not know what to expect. We were nothing short of impressed by the level of participation, the level of engagement, and the level of enthusiasm. So today, I really want to take this moment to thank our colleagues who stepped up to co-lead this group with Colleges and Institutes Canada. So to André Bojano of Chile, that you heard, Jane Anderson of Australia, Glory Motungi of Kenya, and Ken Barrientos from UNESCO-UNEVOC in Bonn. Thank you, thank you. And to Judy Vargatot, who is also co-leading this group, and Andrea Fournier, who introduced herself here at Colleges and Institutes Canada, for all their hard work in supporting this group. So today we're exploring a SDG that is really close to my heart. And it is at the core of much of the work that Colleges and Institute Canada does with its global partners. So SDG 5, the Gender Equality SDG, as you all know, lies at the heart of sustainable development. As you can see on the chart that Andrea will put for you, there is still much progress to achieve, especially considering what happened to women and vulnerable groups during the pandemic. We will make sure that you can see the chart also in the chat box, should you ever want to refer to it later. So, as you all know, the empowerment of women and girls in all countries can and will lead to a better future for all. Some of you may know that Canada pursues a feminist foreign policy, and our federal government has made a tangible commitment to gender equality, including naming a cabinet with equal representations of men and women. I should say, though, that the election has been announced, and so we will know in 4 weeks who will be this new government. But when just before they stopped being a government, there was equal representations of men and women. So further to this commitment of the government, in December 2020, so about 7 months ago, the Canadian government launched a challenge to all stakeholders in our country called the 50-30 Challenge. So what does it mean, 50-30 Challenge? In fact, it asks that organizations, no matter whether they are governmental or nonprofit or private, need to aspire to two goals. First, gender parity, meaning 50% on Canadian boards and senior management. Second, the 30% means significant representation, again, on Canadian boards and senior management of other underrepresented groups. So I was pleased to be one of the first signatures of the 50-30 challenge. In fact, the first one at the post-secondary level, as President and CEO of Colleges and Institutes Canada. And I'm happy to report that although this is an aspirational goal, we have in fact gender parity in our senior management and our board of directors. But of course, our journey and commitment will continue. Last summer, for example, I launched a process in response to the pandemic to review the aspirations and commitments of Colleges and Institutes Canada with and on behalf of our 140 TVET member institutions. During this consultation process, we determined that we, as an organization, wanted to publicly declare our commitment to the 2030 agenda and the 17 SDGs, and ensuring that nobody is left behind. But knowing that, of course, you cannot focus on 17 SDGs at the same time, we wanted to ensure to have a level of excellence to aspire to. So we undertook to choose our priority SDGs for action in 21-22. So myself and my colleagues, we chose 5 SDGs to focus on. And of course, you can guess that one of them is SDG 5. So we also selected SDG 8, 10, 13, and of course, 17, which is all about partnerships. So at CICan, we're very aware of the importance of the full participation and leadership of women. And Andrea, so can you please put the link to our 2-pager on gender, please, so that participants could refer to it later. So I was myself the first woman, can you imagine, appointed 8 years ago after 40 years of existence of our association. We now have a full-time gender specialist who works to support both our international and Canadian partnerships. 7 of our 9 senior leaders are women. The chair of our board of directors is a woman, Dr. Paula Burns, and the chair of our President's Advisory Committee on Sustainability is also a woman, Dr. Janet Morrison. So as you can see, we value and recognize the contributions made by women at all levels, and we also encourage our own members to join the 50-30 challenge and be role models for all of Canada. So for me personally, gender parity is essential. And I've always been committed to it. And maybe I owe it to my parents who never made a difference for my educations because I was a girl. So today, I really look forward to our conversation with colleagues from around the world. So I'm thrilled to be joined by representatives of 3 different countries. So first from Kenya, Dr. Consolata Mutysia, who is chairperson of Women in Technical Education and Development in Kenya, and head of department and trainer at Kabete National Polytechnic. From Australia, Chanel Burgos, who is strategic partner coordinator for Women in Business at TAFE Australia. From Australia also, Lynn Ricard, acting general manager at TAFE Digital New South Wales. I should have mentioned that in fact Chanel is also from New South Wales. And from Chile, Natalia Palacios, Deputy Director, Infrastructure and Technology Platforms, School of Computer Science and Telecommunications at Duoc Professional Institute. So I will not take our precious time to read their bios. They will be put in the chat, so you'll be able to see it. So I have a series of questions that I will ask our guests, and we will engage in a dialogue about the importance of and opportunities for women and girls in TVET around the world. So during the talk, do not hesitate to make comments or ask questions to all the guests or to specific guests. We will be monitoring the chat box and they will be able to answer your questions. And if we have the time, we'll do it verbally and not only in writing. So, but first, I will ask each guest to introduce themselves and their work in about 2 minutes each, please. So we will start with Chanel. So Chanel, please go ahead.
2 minutes. Let's see if I can get that done.
If
Good
not,
morning.
I will cut you.
Yeah, that's okay. Please feel free to. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to everyone. My name is Chanel Burgos, and I am the Strategic Partner Coordinator from the Women in Business program. And I guess just a way of background, the Women in Business program is actually part of New South Wales Women's Strategy for 2018 to 2022. Now, within that, we actually found out that only about 28% of small business owners were female. However, there was only a 4% survival rate. The program was actually launched due to a ministerial promise to increase that success rate for women in business. Before the actual program launched, we had internal and external market research that was conducted, and we knew from previous programs that small business owners actually really like to enroll into our programs and qualifications, but because of time constraints, very rarely actually completed a qualification. Market research actually allowed us to understand that there was a real need for quick, digestible information and examples that would be taken and just quickly applied to business straight away. So women also wanted to learn from people that were successful. They really wanted to kind of understand the successes and losses in a sense. And from this research, TAFE, New South Wales Women in Business program was actually designed. So this is the program overview. The program actually launched in January 2020. And we provide, learning topics and resources, short videos, rapid training resources, and links to our other certified qualifications as well. We provide case studies, events. I think something really important to mention was that we were looking forward to providing face-to-face events, but because of COVID, we really did have to pivot and provide virtual events and webinars and workshops. We've also partnered with government departments that also help with small business, which I feel really helped us out in the area of referrals. Our target was really to actually get at 5,500 clients in small micro business or startup operations by December 2023. But within the first 5 months, we actually reached over 6,000 clients. Currently, we are sitting at over 12,700 clients. So we are kind of working towards a revised target of 15,000 registrations before June 2022. About 60, I'm going to say about 61% of our target and clients actually sit within the 30 to 50 age bracket. And we do find that most of our clients are startup businesses. I guess at every opportunity, we provide our clients an avenue to submit their feedback. So this feedback was taken from our last survey and relates to a few areas of business support. So there you can see, for example, that development of new skills. One of our clients mentioned how they're not very experienced with accounting and finance. However, our various webinars and topics actually assisted them through that. I guess in general, 89% of clients actually either agree or strongly agree to the statement, "I found the resources provided useful," which is fantastic. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Chanel. We'll move to Dr. Consolata.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everybody who is here. Thank you for having me. And thank you for Madam Glory who brought me in. I didn't know about this group until she brought me in, and I'm so happy to be here because I feel this is where I belong. And especially now that we are talking about SDG 5. My name's Dr. Consolata Mutisia. I'm the chairperson of Women in Technical Education and Development in Kenya here. We have over 170 champion members from different institutions. I'm also a trainer and head of department in media studies and women affairs. I think, let me go through my screen. So this is what we did as a group from this side. I wanted to see, because I was told to prepare on the role of TVET in supporting gender equality. Remember, I did this document with Madam Glory. So normally that is the way the SDG chart looks like. Well, that is history about gender equality. I think I don't need to go through it. It's basically that we are talking about gender equality. It's the 5th of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals established by United Nations. I won't go through everything else because I know I have limited time. Then I defined what is gender equality and empowerment. Equality is a state of equal ease of access to resources and opportunities, regardless of gender, including economic participation and decision-making, while empowerment is a process of becoming stronger and more confident, especially in controlling one's life and claiming of rights. Now, let me give you a short background of our TVET institution, because I'm a trainer in TVET institution. We have over 200 TVET institutions, where Madam Glory is the chair of this organization called CATI, Kenya Association of Technical Training Institutions. We have different categories of institutions. We have the National Polytechnics, which are 12. We have 262 public technical and vocational colleges. We have 877 private TVCs, 943 public vocational training centers, and 89 private VTC. Now, what we did as a WITED, which I'll go to the next slide, is that all these institutions came together to start a WITED chapter. WITED chapter's main objective is to encourage girls to participate in TVET courses, and especially the STEM courses. Let me just go through my work. That is some part of the history of
so excuse me, Dr. Consolata, I can see that you have many slides. So if you could choose maybe 3 of them to make sure that we stay in the time.
Okay, very well, Denise. Now, let me start with WITED. What is WITED? It is an organization which is called Women in Technical Education and Development. This organization was started way back in 1988, although it did not peak much until 2019, when we had champions from all institutions coming together to promote WITED. We have objectives. We have the main objective, which is to enhance the participation of women in technical education at all levels. This is the main part of my presentation because I'm the WITED chair. We want to encourage girls to participate in technical courses because we have realized that for our country to grow, all a sub-Saharan country, we need to have more women participation. You realize that girls don't participate more in technical courses compared to the male students. So we wanted to have more girls participating in the TVET courses so that they may be able to become self-reliant and get empowered. Because now we are moving towards manufacturing. So for us to be able to for them to get jobs in manufacturing, they needed to be part of that. Okay, let me go very fast to this part. Now, the success story is that, as I've said, in 2019, Kenya Institute launched the WITED to increase female participation. That is that we have 170 champions who were appointed to represent and spearhead WITED activities. This is our first meeting, our inaugural meeting of the WITED National Executive Committee, chaired by the Commonwealth of Polytechnics Associations in Africa, Madam Fall, the one in pink, and I'm next there. So we were coming in to launch and to see how we strategize on our growth, on how we are going to do how we are going to grow to achieve our objectives. That is the constitution we came with, that you can see our vision is to empower women to participate in development and influence of society. At my right is our logo, Women in Technical Education and Development. Some of the success stories we have had is that we have had different institutions achieving different things towards the gender equality or female participation. Like in the institution where I work for, Kabete National Polytechnic, funds have been set to educate 5 female students who have qualified to do STEM courses. They will not pay a penny. They'll be educated until they finish their courses. Where Madam Glory is the principal, Nairobi Technical, the third one, the last bulletin, where she is that, they have also set aside funds to educate 5 girls from the surrounding slum dwellings in STEM courses until they finish their courses and follow them to see that they get jobs. Other institutions, many of them have come up with their own ways of making sure that we have more girls participating in TVET courses.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Dr. Consolata. So
Welcome.
this is great. So we'll move now to Natalia Palacios, please.
Sorry, my presentation is in Spanish. Anyway, I work in Duoc UC. Duoc UC is one of the largest professional institutes in Chile. In Duoc UC, we have 100,000 of students.
Natalia, sorry, you don't have your PowerPoint.
Sí, but I will be a little introduction and then I will PowerPoint. Thank you, Andre. So Duoc UC is a professional institute. I work in the IT school. We have a technological career in computer science, networking, and computer platform careers. So in our school, we have 14,000 students. About 12% are women. So we have a program, is more women in ICT for improve and have more women in ICT, not only in our institute and only in all ecosystems, also school, girls and adolescents from school, and from our teachers and others. So I can share a little presentation. This is in Spanish, sorry. This is our icon, more women in ITC. So we motivate our students to study ATC careers. So as you said, we have only 12% of our students are women. So our motivation is make more bigger than number. And also in Chile, only 5% of women are are working in ITC. Okay, so we need to aumentar, André, to have more own students and workers, right? So I believe the stereotypes are the more important thing. So we work in prepare our students with leadership and enforce to have convert them to change agents for the others, for the girls and for the girls from the school. So our students are change agents for the others. So we have our program. The focus are to our community of women, our students, and girls from college, from college, right? We work with ecosystem. We have alliance with other institutions from the state, with others, and also UNESCO-UNEVOC. We work in last year together, right? So we have a community, the leaders from community, also from our school, our professor, are involved. Our leaders, we have some testimonies, and we have a cycle with them. We convocate them, we prepare them, then we develop activities and we evaluate the action, right? The activities, the principal activities are workshop in schools from our students. This is the principal focus. First, we prepare them with leadership abilities, and they prepare from workshop from school. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. So now let's begin our conversation. And as I said, if you have comments, questions for specific speaker, just write it in the chat box. So the first question for the panelists. So do you see TVET education as a driver that helps in ending all forms of discrimination against women and girls everywhere? And if you do agree, can you share us some example? And if you don't agree, tell us why. So let's start by Chanel.
Thank you. Look, yes, I'd have to say that I feel that education is key to gender equality and empowering women. I guess the contribution at the Women in Business program to this would be that it understands that knowledge is really key. It provides women with the tools to work on their business to achieve economic independence. And I think personally for me, I feel that organizations can actually play a really important role in that. You know, to promote gender equality and eliminate discrimination in the workplace. And therefore, it's really important to actually see greater representation of women in boards as directors or subject matter experts. And obviously they would gain those positions with education. So definitely.
Okay, good, Chanel. So Dr. Consolata, do you agree?
I totally agree that TVET is a way to go for our ladies, for our girls, female students to be able to fit in the society. You know, when they get trained and they get hands-on skills, they become empowered. When you are empowered, you are able to get your own job. You can get employed. You can start your own business. And when you are economically empowered, I believe you are able to make decisions about your life. So it is very important that girls get trained in TVET, hands-on skills. They get hands-on skills so that it can be, it can help them in life. You see,
Absolutely.
It also sensitizes them on their rights. They know what their rights are. Thank you.
Thank you. And it helps them to build their self-confidence as well. So what about you, Natalia? What do you think? You gave us good examples, in fact, of how girls can be empowered. But anything else you want to add?
Yes, I think in Duoc UC at all, we have a responsibility to train people in the technical and professional field. Also, we have a solid ethic base. You can listen well?
Yes, now it's better. Yes, now we hear you.
Better? Thank you very much. Thank you. So I tell you, like TVET, we have a responsibility to educate our people, our students. That way we can contribute to the work and commitment to develop of society. And at all the Duoc UC, we believe in gender equality, and our project is through our scope of actions. Our students graduate with a training that all then allow them to collaborate, innovate, undertake, and adapt to change. So our responsibility is for people, for the new society, and the new society require people that work for gender equality.
Oh, Denise, you're on mute.
No, again. After 18 months, I should know better. So one of the things that struck me during your 3 presentations is how each of you talk about the importance of building a community so that each of those women didn't feel alone and they felt that there was support. And you're coming from 3 different countries completely, but there was this thing in common. So let's go to the second question. So one of the SDG 5 says, one of the targets says specifically, the importance to enhance the use of enabling technology, in particular information and communications technology, to promote the empowerment of women. And Natalia, this is exactly what you just talked about to us. So from your perspectives, how would you say your program or your institution, each of you, are you achieving this? So I'll start with you, Natalia, because you work in specifically in the ITC sector. So what would you say?
That you said our More Women in ICT program aims to contribute to increase in the participation of women and enhance their role in the IT industry, being agents of change and reference in their environment. So wait me.
So we
I think from technology, we have a big role in that way. Our IT school prepare our people and goes for this ODS 5 objective directly. We believe that women in technology, we can contribute to make a better work in an industry, and we can contribute to creativity, innovation, efficient, a better work. And the participation of heterogeneous peoples with a different point of view, from different ways, contribute to better society.
Thank you, Natalia. And what is interesting is that specifically in ITC, if they are women, it means that there will be less bias, for example, in artificial intelligence. And so this is a prime example that why we need to ensure gender parity. So let's go to Chanel. What would you say about the importance of ITC, and do you think it should be done in a better way?
I think much like you mentioned, yes, I think it's incredibly important to kind of tackle that data bias from a data bias perspective. Could it be done in a better way? I'm not sure if I'm the best person to comment on that, but I mean, from a women in business perspective, in a sense, the program itself really promotes the empowerment of women through its online platform. It is wholly online, and it allows women to actually tell their story, you know, share opportunities, encourage each other, build their network, which is incredibly important. So it's not only, I guess, an educational empowerment, but we're seeing like a social and definitely an economical one as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Chanel. And what you talk about is, in fact, how technology help to empower those women. So what about you, Dr. Consolata, in Kenya? What would you say about the importance of ITC with respect to gender?
ICT is very important with respect to gender, because technology is the way to go right now. Everybody is trying to be technologically literate. So what we do in Kenya is at our TVET institution, it is compulsory to have to do ICT. Every course, even if you are taking whichever career or whichever course, ICT is compulsory as a subject, which is examined by the national examining body. So every student must take ICT. ICT is quite important because all institutions have invested in building ICT labs, whereby all students of all careers can go there and practice ICT. And they have also invested in internet. Most TVET institutions in Kenya have internet, so that the students are able to access, you know, for technology purpose and for social purposes, that each one of them is able to access in documents and be able to communicate using ICT. So according to me, I feel it is very important to have ICT and to make just sure that girls don't fear ICT, because studies have shown that females sort of fear technology. Now we have very many female trainers or lecturers who are teaching ICT, so the girls can see role models in their teachers. So I think it is very important. Thank you.
I like what you're saying, Dr. Consolata, with the importance of role models, so that there are more women. If they see that, yes, it's possible, then it may inspire them to pursue. And there's one thing that nobody mentioned about the importance of ITC is the fact that it's well-paid job too. And one of you mentioned, in fact, the two of you, if not three, also talk about the fact that technology is everywhere now. So you cannot think about any profession basically without the use of technology. So the importance of ensuring that women are attracted. And Natalia, I kind of love the way that you showed your logo earlier, because it was pink. And I know it's a stereotype that women love pink, but I thought it was quite clever, in fact, to have this. And I think if there would be more pink, maybe linked to ITC, maybe we would attract more women. But maybe that's a bias that I have because I love pink. So I mentioned earlier the pandemic and what happened with the pandemic. For women. So, and we know that there was a report of about 4 months ago in April 2021 by Oxfam International that said, and I will read, the coronavirus pandemic has had an alarming impact on women globally, with women being disproportionately affected by job loss and burnout as they juggle work with caregiving demands, especially for all those women that had to work from home. We know that a lot left their jobs, in fact. So in 2020 alone, women globally lost more than 64 million jobs, which equals to 5% of total jobs held by women. This is major. So the term she-cession, so for recessions for women, so she-cession, has been coined to identify this phenomenon. So what is the role of TVET in contributing solutions to this trend? I know that us in Canada, we developed a report about the role of TVET to help with the pandemic and the recovery. But what do you think could be the role to help, especially women? So let's start this time by Kenya, by Dr. Consolata.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, coronavirus has really affected us, the whole world, and especially women. Many here in Kenya have also lost their livelihood, they have lost their income, they have lost their jobs. So what TVET is doing, what TVET can do right now is that we have short courses. We have short courses of 3 months, 2 months, whereby women can retrain on other areas of hands-on skills. For example, knitting, bread making, cake making, and all those hairdressing. Short courses whereby they can take up these short courses and then they can open up their own startup businesses to be able to make a livelihood. I think now these short courses mostly are not examined. They are not examinable, and we don't look at the qualifications of what you have or what you had, how you qualified. As long as you are a woman and you want to be trained in this, and you have the basic skills of you can speak in English, you can read and write, then you can be trained in those short courses of 3 months, 2 months. They are both hands-on technical skills and also entrepreneurial skills to know how you can start up your own business and be able to achieve some income. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. I love this idea of entrepreneurship, Dr. Consolata, and in a way there are linkages with what Chanel was talking to us about earlier when she talked about how few women were in fact the CEOs of their of small businesses in Chile. No, it was in Australia. Sorry, Natalia is from Chile. So this is quite interesting. So Natalia, what would you say with respect to this issue? Do you think that, for example, ITC could help in contributing to this she sessions to solve those issues?
Yes, a lot of, because ITC give more tools for that. A concrete way to contribute is the job retraining of women who have lost their position in traditional jobs and who maybe have access to IT roles in the future after being trained in digital tools, which allow them to integrate into the information and communication technology sector in order to address the digital transformation that has accelerated during the pandemic. In addition, many IT roles can be performed remotely, which allowed women to work from their homes and reconcile with the care of their family when they have that responsibility. However, we believe that encouraging the incorporation of women to study STEM careers should be the main challenge in the new society, technology society. The changes of digital transformation, I like it to also accelerate the elimination of some roles that will become redundant in the new world of work and accelerate the creation of new roles. The roles in which women are most represented today are those that will be eliminated by automation. On the contrary, within the new projected roles, those in technology are those with the lowest female participation today. For example, cloud computer, data, and artificial intelligence. So our commitment and challenge is to contribute to a future in which this gap can be controlled. An alarming trend of female unemployment does not continue to grow. Do you understand that, as I said?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's interesting because you are demonstrating that in fact, where there's a growth in jobs or places where there are the least number of women. And so that's why it's so important to attract women in those fields, because that's where the jobs will be. Because currently they are in the jobs that will be disappearing. So yes, it was very clear, Natalia. Thank you very much. Chanel, what would you say from an Australian perspective with respect to the She session? So what have been the secrets or the approach in TAFE?
Yeah, you know, I think everyone's probably seen with something like with COVID happening, we see a lot of people coming to try to upskill. And in general terms, yeah, technology and vocational education and training, you know, has a really critical role to play in skilling women. And I think at the moment we're seeing a strategic push really for women to actually join, and I hate to say it, but like non-traditional, I guess, trade jobs, for example, like construction. So we're actually seeing quite a lot of that. We're seeing the government subsidize short courses as well. For women in business in particular, I guess our response is educating women on how to actually start a small business, form partnerships with fellow clients, I guess, provide workshops, specifically on how to actually apply grants, which I think is really important. And also just be a hub of information to try to provide to all our clients on upcoming resources that are available to them.
So to ensure that they know where to get access to resources or informations or grants. That's quite interesting because in Canada, of course, we share a lot of similar issues. And in fact, we also have a program funded by our government that we are administrating to do placement of people. And in fact, the wage subsidy that we can give is higher if people recruit women or people from vulnerable groups. And so this is a way to encourage more of those employers, in fact, to recruit those people. And when we did an evaluation, because we've been doing that for the last 5 years, in different sectors, and I think it's about 89% of people are kept after, even if the wage subsidy is gone. So this is very, very encouraging. So let's move to a fourth question. So from your own experience or role, what is the role TVET has to play in ensuring that women are fully and effectively participating in leadership of your institution or in leadership of organization? So can you give us an example? So this one is more about the leadership of women. So let's start with Dr. Consolata.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, when I look at the structure of leadership by women in our institutions here in Kenya, I can say that many women are in positions of leadership in our institutions. We have very many institutions, TVET institutions, which are led, which the principal is a woman. I have a very good example of Glory, who is here. She's the principal of quite a large institution, which she has been doing quite a commendable job, and she's known as one of the best principals we have in Kenya, and leading a very big institution, where others, even the male ones, go to benchmark with her. Now, there's also a policy that those institutions with more than 1,000 students, they have 2 deputies. So there's a policy that one of the deputy of the institution must be a woman. So one is a male, the other one is a female. So I think females or women are well represented in that area. When we come to the students leadership, when we have the students council or the students leaders, if the chair is male, then the vice chair must be a woman, and the vice versa. If the chair is a woman, the vice chair may be a male. So women are well represented in leadership in TVET institutions here in Kenya. And again, now that we have weighted chapters in each institution, that we make sure that girls or women are well placed in all the leadership places where they could fit. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. And so you can really see that WITED is really making an impact in Kenya. And I love this approach with respect to if one is a male, the other one has to be a woman. I just love it. This ensures gender parity. And I hope it's not always the women that is the deputy director, but that the women are also the directors. So what about you, Chanel, in Australia? The leadership, how is it happening?
You know what? I think I'm really quite fortunate. My manager's manager, they're all very strong women. And, you know, as an example, we've got Lynn Rickard here, who is, you know, someone that everyone looks up to. And yeah, so we're quite lucky with the fact that, you know, it's important to see, you know, that greater representation of women in those higher roles, and we definitely see that. Also within the Women in Business program, we're actually seeking out women entrepreneurs to actually come and provide a bit of information or their stories, their success stories, or what they've learned through their journey, their process. So yeah, quite lucky to be in a position where I am, where I'm able to see that consistently every day. Yeah.
Excellent. Natalia, quickly.
I think we have here many women with important roles. I'm her deputy director, and my director is a woman also. And she was a new role 1 week ago, and it's a new role more up near to rector, our rector. So we have more power in Duoc UC, in also with our students.
Wow, bravo. This is good news. It's always good to see women succeeding. And I was looking at the screen and I thought, where are the men on this presentation today? Okay, so we have two very good questions, and in fact, they are related, that comes from the public, and I'd like to raise those. And they are about the social and structural barriers for access, because we know that there could be barriers for girls and women. So the question is, from your organization's experience and from your specific context, so whether ITC or business sector or general, how are you addressing the barriers to access to education for girls and women? So let's start by let's start by Chanel.
Thank you. You know, I think we understand that many women have, I guess, complex lives with really multiple responsibilities. So the way that we cater for that is, I guess, the program itself, women are able to tap in and tap out as they please. So it really gives them the power to actually control their education in that sense.
Okay, Natalia?
Please, can you repeat the question?
Yes. You know, girls and women, when they want to access education, sometimes there are barriers. So my question is, how are you addressing the barriers, for example, in ITC? What are you doing to ensure that those barriers are diminished or eliminated completely? So sometimes they could be social barriers or structural barriers.
Okay. Andre, what is barriers?
Limitations.
Okay. Okay. In our program, more women ITC, we have a community with our students and support their problems and limitations from emotional to technical, right? And we have support. We training them, and we have coaching with them. At that coaching, the topics comes from them. So they choose which areas or terms they need from their own needs, right? So, for instance, this next month, we have coaching about time organizations, stress management, because our students, many of them works and also have their moms, their children, so they are strong, but they don't have many time for for do all that want to do. So they need organize their time. So we are coaching about time management and stress and others. From that topic come from them. So we ask them, what do you need for encourage and be more strong? And from that, we organize some coaching from them. And also we ask which areas in technical areas we want to improve more than careers. So from our program, we give them more training, additional training for them.
Fantastic example. It's practical, it's simple, it comes from them, and together they can find solutions or get some ideas from the coach. Dr. Consolata, from you in Kenya, what is happening to ensure that there's not of those social or structural barriers?
Thank you, Denise. Now, what we have done as WITED, we have identified the different barriers which impact on these girls. One can be the personal barriers, that is self-efficacy, interest, family beliefs, peer pressure. Then there's the institutional barriers, that is the environment of learning, the female teachers, the careers, the ones they have chosen, and then there's societal norms. You know very well about us Africans and culture. There are those cultures girls believe that our culture we are not allowed to do this, our culture dictates this. So what we have done in our institutions that we've come up with the objectives as WITED groups, that we need to empower these girls. We sensitize them on the way forward. Once they report in the institutions, then we work with them through. We coach them, we talk to them, we advise them on the way to go. If they want to pick a course, we work with them. We know when they have issues that we are able to tackle, we tackle with them. We sometimes even go ahead to call the parents. Sometimes a girl can come, she wants to do engineering, but the mother maybe wants her to do something different. We go ahead and talk to the parents to explain to them and to encourage them that this girl likes this career and she'll perform and she'll get a job. So we look at the different barriers which these girls face, and then we are able to tackle each as it comes, because now the barriers are quite wide and they are different. Thank you.
Excellent, Dr. Consolata, because the importance of educating parents, because the parents may have stereotypes and the parents may not support, in fact, the choice of their children for all kinds of reasons. I love the examples that you all have given. So unfortunately, this is over for our questions. I'm sure we could have continued because you, Natalia, Dr. Consolata, and Chanel, you had great examples and great suggestions. And I'll just summarize them quickly. The importance of short courses, the importance of access to technology, and technology to be able to take it online at your own pace, at your own time. There was also some suggestions with respect to the networking, the importance of having a support group, role models, coaches, as Natalia has explained to us, and also educating parents, as Dr. Consolata has mentioned. And I will add one that was not mentioned, but that's something that we do, especially in some of the communities where some of our colleges are, is ensuring that there's a daycare. Because often this is one of the barriers that people have. They have no place to bring the kids and they are still responsible for the kids. So what do you do with them? So by having daycares available at the colleges, it's really helping. So Chanel, Dr. Consolata, Natalia, thank you very much for your insights. Thank you for taking the time to be with us and answering those questions. Now I'm going back to you, Glory.